Hi everyone, it's me Limay on your screen. Last discussion, we discussed about what is home management and principle of home management. Now, we are going to talk about food insecurity. Let's start. Okay, what is food insecurity first? Food insecurity, a condition in which household lack access to adequate food because of limited money or other resources. The fact that so many people are food insecure is important in and of itself, but more concerning are the possible negative health consequences of food insecurity. Here, food insecurity exists when people do not have adequate physical, social, or economic access to food. Food insecurity can be discussed based on the following dimensions. First, duration, a time dimension. Duration, this is how long something lasts from beginning to end. For example, the total duration of the film is 180 minutes. Next is severity or scale dimension. In terms of duration, there are two general types of food insecurity. Number 1, chronic food insecurity. Number 2, transitory food insecurity. Number 3, in between the two, there may be what is termed as seasonal food insecurity. Okay, what is chronic food insecurity? Chronic food insecurity occurs when people are unable to meet their minimum food requirements over a sustained period of time. It is long-term or persistent in nature. Chronic food insecurity is often the result of extended periods of poverty, lack of assets, and inadequate access to productive or financial resources. Next, chronic food insecurity can be overcome with typical long-term development measures such as education or access to productive resources such as credit, etc. But in the first instance, chronically food insecure people may need more direct access to food to enable them to raise their productive capacity. Okay, chronic is having illness for a long time. The family cannot afford enough nutritious food, and which makes maintaining good health extremely difficult. They cannot afford to buy a food because of poverty. That is chronic food insecurity. Next is transitory food insecurity. It refers to a sudden drop in the ability to produce or access enough food to maintain a good nutritional status. Transitory food insecurity is short-term and temporary. Transitory food insecurity is primarily caused by short-term shocks and fluctuations in food availability and food access, including year-to-year variations in domestic food productions, food prices, and household incomes. Transitory food insecurity is relatively unpredictable and emerges suddenly, and this makes planning and programming more difficult. The best option for tackling it is developing the capacity for an early warning capacity and safety net program. Okay, transitory food insecurity lasting for only a short time. Temporary or short-time problem. Unlike the chronic, it's a long-term problem. Transitory, it happens when there is a cyclical pattern or insufficient access to food. Access to enough food in order to maintain good nutritional status. Next is seasonal food insecurity. It is an intermediate type of food insecurity which occurs when there is cyclical pattern or of inadequate availability and access to food. This is associated with seasonal fluctuation in the climate, cropping patterns, work opportunities, or labor demand, and or prevalence of diseases. Seasonal food insecurity falls between chronic and transitory. It is similar to chronic food insecurity and as it usually predictable and follows in sequence of those events. Next is, in terms of severity, the following types of food insecurity are identified. Number 1, acute food insecurity, which is used in describing a severe and life-threatening situation. Next, famine, which is used in describing the most extreme situation of food insecurity, usually associated with substantial loss of life. Note, the IPC and CH analysis and classification is based on the severity dimension. How to measure and report food insecurity situation. To accurately describe the intensity of food insecurity, different scales of terms have been developed using different indicators and cut-off points of or benchmark. Until recently, there was no commonly used scale and thus making it very hard to compare the severity of different food security crises. This in turn makes it hard to prioritize between different contexts and respond proportionately to needs. That's all. Thank you.